Have you ever said, "I'm sorry I'm taking up your time," or "sorry I'm being a bother," when all you did was speak from your heart? If so, you're not alone. Too many seniors, especially after 70, carry around invisible weights. Not physical ones, but emotional ones. The burden of feeling like you must constantly apologize for your needs, your presence, even your existence. Let's stop that today, because after 70, you've earned the right to stand tall. You've lived, you've loved, you've endured, you've given to others, raised families, worked jobs, and held people up when your own legs were tired. It's time to stop apologizing for who you are and start living with the quiet strength that you've carried all along. This video isn't about blaming you for saying, "I'm sorry." It's about freeing you from the need to do it so often. It's about replacing guilt with grace and apology with dignity. Imagine this. A grandmother brings soup to her family, walking slowly with tired knees. She sets it down and says, "Sorry I'm moving so slow today." But instead of appreciation, she feels invisible. They thank her, but no one tells her, "You don't need to apologize. You matter." That's the voice we're restoring today, because every time you apologize for being old, being slow, being imperfect, you erase a little piece of your own dignity. Let's reclaim it together. Stick with me as we explore 5 powerful reasons why, after 70, it's time to stop apologizing and start standing tall. Let's begin with the first and most important truth. You've already paid your dues. You've shown up for decades. You've sacrificed sleep for children. You've worked long hours, cared for aging parents, held together relationships, and maybe even survived personal loss and hardship. You've made your mark, even if the world didn't hand you a medal for it. So why are you still apologizing? Many older adults carry the habit of over-apologizing from years of putting others first, especially women, raised to be humble, quiet, and accommodating, who now in their 70s still say things like, "Sorry for bothering you. I didn't mean to make a fuss. I don't want to be a burden." But here's the truth. You're not a burden. You're a blessing. And the more you apologize for taking space in the world, the more others begin to believe that's all you deserve. Just space, not respect. It's time to flip that narrative. Think of a tree that has stood strong for 70 years. No one asks it to apologize for its height or for dropping leaves. It's revered for what it survived, the storms, the seasons, the scars. And so are you. You've survived things many people wouldn't understand. Wars, recessions, grief, change, raising a family in tougher times. You've adapted through technology, politics, loss of friends, maybe even the loss of your partner. So instead of saying, "I'm sorry I'm not who I used to be," start saying, "I am proud of who I've become." It's not arrogance, it's earned dignity. You don't have to prove your worth anymore. You already did, by living this long and still standing. So take a breath, square your shoulders, and let this truth sink in. You've already paid your dues, and now you deserve peace, not guilt. Reason number 2, apologizing can make you invisible. Here's something no one tells you. The more you apologize, the more invisible you become. And that's especially true as you grow older. How many times have you walked into a room and said something like, "Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry, I talked too much. Sorry, I'm not as sharp as I used to be." Each sorry chips away at your presence. Each apology teaches others and yourself that your voice, your pace, your very existence might be an inconvenience, and over time, people stop listening, not because you have nothing to say, but because you've already told them you don't deserve to be heard. That's not humility. That's self-erasure. And it's heartbreaking, because you still have so much to offer. When you constantly apologize, you're shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's comfort zone. You might think it's polite, but in truth, it can send a message that you don't believe in your own value. Let's be clear. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to ask questions. You are allowed to speak slower, move slower, think differently, without apology. In fact, replacing apologies with gentle gratitude can change everything. Instead of, sorry I'm slow, say thank you for being patient. Instead of, sorry I forgot, try, thanks for the reminder. It helps. This one change helps you remain visible, respected and appreciated, and not pitied. Remember, your presence in any room is not a mistake. You are part of the conversation, not a disruption to it. So please, don't let the habit of apologizing make you disappear, because the world still needs your wisdom, loud and clear. Reason number 3, self-worth isn't measured by how much you shrink. One of the most damaging lies society tells older adults is this: be small, be quiet, be grateful, but don't be bold. After 70, many seniors feel like they must shrink to be accepted. They stop asking for what they need, stop expressing what they feel, and start apologizing just for being who they are. But your self-worth was never meant to be measured by how little you ask or how softly you speak. You were made to stand tall, not to disappear, and yet for decades the message has been drilled in: don't make a fuss, don't draw attention, be easy to deal with. But when you shrink, you lose access to the joy that comes from being fully alive. Let's flip that. You're not here to make others comfortable. You're here to be you. You don't have to apologize for needing help with technology, saying no to plans that drain you, wearing what makes you feel beautiful, laughing too loud or singing off key, taking up space in the waiting room, the grocery store, or your own family. You've earned the right to live unapologetically, and living unapologetically doesn't mean being rude. It means being authentic. Let me tell you about Nancy, a 75-year-old woman who used to apologize for everything. One day, after years of tiptoeing around life, she signed up for a painting class. At first, she kept saying, "Sorry, I'm not any good." But a kind instructor said, "Nancy, you don't have to be good. You just have to be present." And something clicked. Now she paints every week, joyfully, freely, with no apologies, and she's never felt more alive. So let this be your reminder. You don't have to shrink to be loved. You just have to show up fully. Reason number 4. Your voice still matters deeply. Let's talk about your voice, not just the sound of it, but the power of it. After 70, many people feel like they're supposed to fade into the background. They stop speaking up, convinced their ideas are outdated or that they're just rambling. But here's the truth. Your voice is not a leftover. It's a lighthouse. It carries wisdom. It carries experience. It carries stories that could save someone else from making the same painful mistake you once made. And yet, how often do seniors say, "Sorry, I'm talking too much. I don't want to sound like an old fool. Maybe I should just keep my mouth shut." No, please don't silence yourself. Your voice might be the only one in the room that's been through a world war, a broken heart, or a deep spiritual awakening. Your insights don't need permission to exist. They need a place to land. When you share your story, even the painful parts, you remind others that survival is possible. That hope is real. That laughter still comes after grief. And no, not everyone will listen, but the right people will. You don't need a microphone or a stage. Your voice matters around the dinner table. It matters in support groups, in letters to your grandchildren, in the quiet advice you whisper to someone in pain. If you've been silenced by others or by your own doubts, it's time to reclaim your voice. Start small, speak from the heart. Journal, record voice memos. Share your story with someone who needs it. Your voice still matters. And the world is a better place when you use it, without apology. Reason number 5. Apologizing can block joy and connection. Let's be honest. No one is perfect. You might forget a name. You might walk a little slower. You might miss a detail in conversation or tell the same story twice. But you know what? That doesn't mean you need to apologize. It means you're human, and you're still here, still growing, still loving, still showing up. But here's the problem. When you over-apologize, you create distance between you and the people who Love you. You block joy by focusing on your flaws. You block connection by trying to be less of a burden. Joy doesn't live in perfection. It lives in presence. When you're always saying, "Sorry, I'm not fun anymore," or "Sorry, I forgot again," you tell others and yourself that your presence is something to be tolerated, not celebrated. Let's change that. Instead of, "I'm sorry," try, "Thank you for being with me. I'm glad we're sharing this moment. I may be slower, but I'm still grateful to be here." These aren't just words, they're bridges. They invite others to join you in the present moment without shame, without pity, because when you stop apologizing for being imperfect, you open the door to real connection. You make space for joy. So please, give yourself permission to enjoy your life, fully, freely, and unapologetically. You've earned it. So here's the truth, dear friend. After 70, your life is not something to apologize for. It's something to honor. You've carried generations. You've endured storms. You are not a burden. You are a blessing. It's time to stand tall. Speak gently and live fully, without shame, without fear, without sorry. If this message resonated with you, please subscribe to Timeless Wisdom for more content that uplifts, honors, and empowers seniors like you. And before you go, tell us in the comments, have you ever apologized for something you shouldn't have? What would you say differently now? Let's heal together.